Hey, what's up everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, it's a good Sunday. It's gonna be a warm one. I dodged the heat yesterday. I decided not to go out. I got 4 free bus slash metro pass left, and so I usually take like 2 buses a trip to Hollywood, or rather 2 trains and then a bus, so that's like 3 trips per. So my thing is, let's try to cut them down. Let's not overutilize them because they don't replenish until the 1st. So I'm gonna have to pay for my way around for the second half of these months, because of course these trips don't last. They give you 20 per month. After that they want you to pay, but they cap off how much you have to pay, but I'm not really sure how that works. So instead of just going to leisurely Hollywood like I used to at the first half of the year, the first 3 months of the year, I decided that that's not going to be very feasible anymore. So this is me going to the local Target instead of making my trip to Hollywood that I would prefer to take. I would actually prefer to do that. I have time to do it on a Sunday too. Bible studies at 4:30 and it's not even 12 yet. But the truth of the matter is, I'm trying to be as meaningful and intentional with those as possible. So that's what it is, man. Yesterday I stayed in the house, did another playlist, the Lee CD 390. I haven't listened to it yet. I barely got around to listening to the playlist that I made. The second playlist that I made in at the NoHo Hotel. I was telling you about Alpha and Omega. I finally listened to the second half of that. It was good. Both of those are very good. So yeah, and I made art and for the CD that I made yesterday, and a few pieces while listening to it. So that was pretty good. Nothing too spectacular, but just getting back in the swing of things with my art. Gonna try to structure it so that I do more art at night in this particular room. So that's really what it is, man. Getting back to lifting a little more. Had gotten away from a lot of my lift regiment stuff. I had been doing squats and push-ups, but nothing in regards to curls with the blue weights that I have. So I'm trying to pick that back up in this room. And so that's really what I've been up to, man. Feeling pretty good for the most part. Still doing homework on these basketball players and stuff like that. Still following everything that's going on in Gaza, and just the full ridiculousness of our country and how people are starting to wake up to the hypocrisy of it all, and digging into why things are the way they are, and finding that our entire Congress is pledged basically to Israel. The entire House of Representatives is basically the United States of Israel at this point. So we gotta vote those people out somehow, and I don't think enough people know what's really going on there to really do that. So unfortunately we're kind of compromised there. But I'm pretty sure before the next 4 years is up, everybody's gonna be on board with changing things. It's gonna take probably that long for everybody to become aware of it. So that's one aspect of it. That it's a bit frustrating, but I've been praying a lot, hoping that the Lord will kind of speed this process up for us, taking our entire country back from Israel and revealing these evil colonial monsters for what they actually are, for what they've always been, really. So that's really where my head has been. My ex reached out. I hadn't spoken to her in like 2 years. I kept it light, didn't really get into too much of anything really about what I've been going through or nothing. But it was good speaking with her, and knowing that she's well is good. And so that's pretty much that. And yeah, man, just minding my business. There wasn't really too much to my day other than that. Yesterday I slept a little bit. Like I said, I wanted to get out, but I just got to be a little more intentional about how I'm utilizing this ride fare, because I really didn't prepare to pay for any of that this month. Of course, we'll be buying my shoes. So yeah, man, just enjoying my weekend. I didn't regret anything. It was so damn hot yesterday. I think it got up to about 86. We're not used to that anymore, so got to start getting used to the high 80s that are coming. But right now I think it's about 70 something, so it feels pretty good. And just gonna do a little walking, and that's about it. It seems like the calamari, I was telling you guys that calamari is working out just fine. I haven't had any stomach issues with that at all. It's probably been the best thing my body has reacted to thus far. And the way that it's set up is it really lasts longer than any of the other stuff I've been purchasing because they put so much in the bag. So that's been a real positive change for me in regards to finally having something that my body reacts well to. And so I can get that from Trader Joe's. And, hopefully it'll remain that way. Hopefully my body doesn't start to reject it, because that's kind of how things usually go. Good for a little while and then bad afterwards. So I think for myself, it's just continuing to experiment with what works and be ready to get rid of what doesn't. That's what's happening. I've been throwing away food that I can't eat, man. Test it out and have so much of it when I throw it away because I can't finish it. But that's just how it's been. So, man, that's really the update. I just dodged the heat yesterday. I just did not really want to deal with a hot day. I think I overstated it in my head, but I kept the air conditioning on and relaxed and did what I'd love to do. And sometimes that's what you're supposed to do, so that's pretty much how I'm looking at it. Of course, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I posted pictures of my dad that I had saved on my phone so people could see my pops. And the way I got it set up is my mom was the last post that I put on Instagram, so I got both of my parents next to one another on my Instagram, so that seems fitting to me. And that's really the update, man. It ain't really too much more to it than that. Just following my passions and still recovering from a pretty strong therapy session. And what I mean by recovering is I had a strange dream in the daytime that I think kind of yesterday afternoon that I think was strummed up by that therapy session. And essentially it was just me feeling how I used to feel when I would be irritated. I tell you guys I had dreams where I was arguing with my mother. Well, yesterday that was one of them type of dreams, but it was not anything warranted about it at all on my end. She came into the room. I was at my grandmother's house, and she came to the room I was in, and I guess I was living there. I had my mirror set up a certain way, and she came in and just started moving stuff around. Like moving the mirror and stuff like that. And she said, "This mirror needs to go somewhere else." I'm like, "Nah, don't move my stuff around. Don't do that." And then I guess another part of the dream we ended up skipping to right away. And I went into some other room in the house, I guess, and there she was, I guess, in the bathtub. I'm like, "Yo, why are you everywhere I'm at?" I was like, "Can't I just spend some time to myself alone? Why are you here?" And then it was something around the lines of, then we skipped to another room and the phone rang. And then she told me, I didn't answer it. I was like, "Thank you, my God." And it was like I was so irritated by my mother's presence in the dream, and I felt that so strongly. And I woke up really disturbed by that whole feeling. I'm like, first of all, I don't want my mother to not be in my dreams. I don't want my mother's spirit or the thought of my mother not to pop up in my dreams. She's coming, if anything, to comfort me. So why would I be so irritated by her presence? But I remember feeling that irritated as a child when I didn't have my own room and she would always be there. I couldn't feel like I couldn't do my own thing because she was there. I'm pretty sure she felt the same way to a degree. And it just felt like I needed so much space and was so smothered, I guess, by my mother. I hadn't felt that in years. I didn't feel that at all. I hadn't felt that since I was probably like 13 years old. But I do remember being especially irritated at times just because I didn't have my own space, and I had never had my own space. So it was just one of those type of things growing up for me where that was something that I felt before, and I felt that so strongly in the dream. I could feel that, and it bothered me because I didn't recognize that my mother had already passed away. You know what I mean? That I should be happy to see her in the dream. I didn't feel like I was strumming those emotions up at all. It was just like they were manifesting in my stomach as if I was a child again, frustrated without the ability to make his own decisions, and her having so much control over the circumstances, and rightfully so as my mother, but I just wanting my own space, and I really snapped at her, and I was really irritated, and I woke up really disturbed by that and really unhappy with myself. But that's how it was when I was little. I would be nice to every single soul but my mother. She would be the only person that I would just not be happy to see sometimes, just because I felt smothered as a child. I really did, and I didn't remember that, but there were times when I look back on it and say, yo, I was a snot of a child. Wasn't the greatest son, but I also was dealing with a lot of entitlement and being spoiled and a lot of stuff that kind of just made me not a great kid toward her, coupled with, you know, some of my own inner unhappiness. I was looking at a picture of myself from when I was a kid playing basketball for the YMCA, and just looking at my face and my body and how unhappy I was, and how out of shape I was, and how that correlated with the unhappiness. It felt like I was becoming that person in the dream for just a moment, to feel all those things that version of myself used to feel, and how easily irritable I was with my mother at times, just unhappy with myself and the world. So, and I'm glad the Lord brought me out of that, but there's part of that had never been addressed, I'd imagine, and it was strumming up in that damn dream. Excuse me. And as I was telling you guys in the therapy session I was doing with Lydia, she was taking me back to the spaces where I was probably developing some of the ways of being isolated and kind of developing into some of the struggles that ultimately I've dealt with. Some of the things that I felt I needed in regards to comfort. A lot of those feelings, I think, were kind of developed in those depressed and unhappy eras of my life. Just protecting myself from certain frustrations and irritabilities or what have you. Turned me into the person I am today, where I struggle with certain things that should be otherwise simply done. And so I think that's what it was. Lydia was just, you know, making me go back to that, for which was probably not really consciously suppressed. And so that's what it is, man. I've been just dealing with that. I didn't realize how much it affected me until I woke up out of that dream. I'm like, yo, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Therapy is, but like I told people after I came out of that, you got to be ready for that. When you go into the room with your therapist, what I need to kind of mentally prepare myself for is the possibility of going into some uncomfortable spaces. I pride myself on being somebody that's open, that loves to talk about whatever I want to talk about, loves to express myself in whatever way that I do. But therapy is meant to make you tackle some uncomfortable spaces. And some of those spaces you may not even know are there until they start pressing those buttons and start asking those questions and making you face those things. As to where in a situation like this, when I'm so open with you guys, it's a controlled amount of what I'm facing that's coming out of my mouth, as opposed to somebody challenging me. And so I just didn't have that context in mind, and don't think I was prepared for that therapy session. I appreciate it, and I'm ready to do it again. I do it every day because I'm just open to be challenged to be better. But I have to mentally prepare myself for the unknown as it pertains to her tapping into my psyche and making me face probably a bit of suppressed energy. So that's what I'm here to say, man. Still trying to get used to that, and this is what I'm there for. This is what I'm there for. I don't want anybody to hold back on me when I'm doing therapy. I don't want anything to be comfortable in that way. We need to get to the bottom of my issues and work and talk out some of these traumas or some of these dramas or whatever they may be. So if I got suppressed mommy issues that I don't even know are there or what have you, let's get to them. Let's talk about it. Let's push those buttons. Let's rupture those feelings. I'm ready to heal, and I'm ready to get into a space where those things don't bother me at all in communication. And so that's what I'm saying to you guys, man. Hopefully everybody takes my example and goes about getting whatever help may be available to you if necessary. I think we all could use therapy. I think we all have certain things of our lives, our childhood, that make us who we are today, and sometimes those things need to be checked. Sometimes those things need to be addressed. You know, being a child provides a great deal of fear and uncertainty and emotional rupturing that a lot of us, as we grow older, learn how to manage, learn how to suppress. And those feelings that make a child cry at the whim, at the drop of a pen needle or something like that, those are the things that I think as we grow older, we just learn how to manage so much better, but never actually address in some cases. And so that's what I felt my anger was doing in the dream. It was manifesting in my stomach like that of the feelings or emotions of a child, without actually checking them, without actually giving any thought to them, just feeling strongly. And so, yeah, man, that's really what it is. Just wanted to express that to you guys. And I think we're really getting somewhere. I hope we are, hope we are, because I need to do some things differently, and I have to get through some of those roadblocks in order to be ready for those changes. So yeah, man, that's what I want to say to everybody. I hope everyone's having a great day. So far, so good for myself. I'm not unhappy today. It's not too hot yet. It will get hotter, but all in all, my shoes feel great. They look great. So it's a lot of positivity on my end, and I'm pretty sure I'll be ready for Bible study when it's time for that to happen. But yeah, man, I'm just taking a little extra step in a different direction. Probably one I haven't walked in, to be honest with you. And then I'll double back and go back to the target behind me over there. But I just wanted to get some good walking in. This target is rather close, and I just want to do a little more exercise than I've been forcing myself to. So that's pretty much what I got to say in regards to this conversation. I hope everybody is having a fantastic Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers and those who played a role. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching.